Finally, let us talk about Oloture, the journey. In case you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to the channel. I love that you keep coming back on here to see what I'm up to on this space. You know how we do it. Like the video, it helps a lot. Share the video, leave a comment. And in case you're just hearing my voice, you're just seeing my channel, welcome. I really do hope you stay by subscribing to the channel, like this video, leave a comment as well. I want to know what your thoughts are. What were your expectations concerning the second part to the movie 2020 movie Oloture? Were your expectations met? Are you excited for the next part? Because yeah, there's definitely going to be another part, because the journey hasn't even started. I know they call this part the journey, but you and I know that it hasn't even begun, because oh yeah. But let me not get ahead of myself. I'm going to talk about the characters and their performances alongside my expectations, as well as what I liked and maybe what I didn't like about the series, and my final verdict and ratings of the 3-part series Oloture, the journey. So yes, first things first, I really didn't expect it to be a series, but I think when they started publicizing the fact that the second part was coming out, they mentioned that it was going to be a series. So yeah, I was quite taken aback when I saw that each episode was like 30 something minutes and it was just 3 episodes. I'm like, hello. We waited for 4 years for you to come and give us a 1 hour something movie, and you now decided to split it into series. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll come back to that. Let's put a pin on that. We'll come back to that. If you remember the movie itself that was released in 2020, Oloture, an investigative journalist, went undercover to, write this report on human trafficking. Those that were involved, traffickers, they recruit people, the type of people they recruit, what they go through before getting to, Europe or Libya or wherever they are taking them to for quote and unquote greener pasture. This lady just wanted a big break. She just wanted to hit a big story. She just wanted to uncover the bad guys and make a big name for herself and her career. But little did she know that she was getting into so many troubled waters than she expected. In this second part, we saw how she was caught up in all the mess. We saw how she reached out to her boss, but there was nothing fruitful out of the conversation. We also saw how she had to reach out to her mom at some point. We saw how she journeyed from Lagos to Benin and to Niger, where their boss was ambushed by this gang and all the ladies were killed except herself and this other lady called Pedro, character played by Beverly Osu. We saw how herself and Pedro had to continue the journey together in the desert, how they had to go through so much pain and so much distress in order to make it out of that place alive. And we saw how when they finally got to somewhere in Niger, they came across these 2 immigrants called Ben and Andrew. We saw how the 4 of them decided to continue the journey to Europe, and we saw how one of them died along the way. It was just them moving from frying pan to fire. Even at some point, we saw Oloture get sold by the character Femi. That's character played by Effiong. We saw that she got sold into prostitution to this madam under the disguise of taking her to this reporter who would be interested in her story. It just made sense that she looks for someone else who was interested in her story, who was interested in listening to her, since all doors has been closed against her back home in Nigeria. So this series was interesting. I know that I said that it was really short, but at the same time a good number of things happened in this 3-part series. So yeah, let's just talk about the characters and their performances quickly. We had new faces in this new part, which we'll talk about, but Oloture, we saw how Oloture was able to deliver a sterling performance in terms of her emotions, the different range of emotions. We saw how the few times she smiled during her friendship with Peju, the few times she had like cute chats, just one-on-one chats with the character Andrew, because it felt like she had another companion than Peju. We also saw when she reached out for help, when she was helpless with regards to her reaching out to her boss and then her mother at some point. We saw this different range of emotion. I really felt like Sharon Ooja immersed herself deeply into that character. Like even herself and Peju, we saw them hold their hands in this series. And it's just, I don't know, it added so much to the series and it added so much to their on-screen chemistry. I remember watching a video on Instagram some days back where they were sharing their experience during filming and how even after they finished shooting the series, they still feel themselves holding each other's arms, like holding each other's hands in their sleep. That's to show you how intense the filming must have been for them emotionally. I can only imagine. Cause of course, Oloture or Peju, I mean, the both of them most especially, they had to be in a kind of zone whenever they were filming. Like, it wasn't a thing of them snapping out of happiness into sadness. I felt like they needed to be sad, they needed to be really, really withdrawn all through the filming of this series, because there wasn't really any happy scene or exciting scene for Oloture in this series. But yeah, she really did well. She was really consistent with her emotions. There was a way she was able to make the viewers see her character, connect with her, understand her plight and all that. And I get that a lot of people were saying, oh, why didn't she go back to, Nigeria? Like, there was no way she could go back to Nigeria. Like, going back to Nigeria wasn't really an option, although it was an option, but it wasn't like a reasonable option for her, considering the fact that now Mr. Philip, that's Sir Philip, the man who raped her in part 1, he has access to her diary. Oh my God, that one paid me. That one really, really paid me. Like, he has access to her diary. He has killed Emeka. I think that was when Emeka attacked him in the restroom. That was when he killed Emeka and got hold of the diary that Oloture gave him. Because I'm just like, everything she wrote, everything she went through, all for waste. Remember the second diary she started when she started the journey from Lagos to Benin to Niger, the woman that she met in Niger ripped it off. The woman that Femi's character, or the woman that Ifeanyi's character sold her to, ripped off those, the notes. So I'm just like, it's like she's just working for nothing. And I mean, I get that she can remember everything, but like, there is nothing like actually putting down details. Because if Oloture ever gets out of this mess, for the first few months, she's going to be traumatized. She's going to go through she's going to need some medical recapitulation. So she might not really remember everything she went through in details because of the trauma. But yeah, I said that to say Sharon Ooja really did a good job portraying the character of Oloture. I don't think I have any issue with her character. There was a way her character looks, there was a way she made me feel, even the way she was looking, the way she was walking. It was just so real and so emotional to see. We had Peju, who acted alongside Oloture, character played by Beverly Osu. I felt like she did really good. We could see the sisterhood thing between herself and Oloture. She gave me the vibe of this person that, despite all they are going through, even though Oloture feels dejected and feels sad and disappointed, she was still like this person that was reigniting the fire in Oloture, telling her that, when she even, walked up to her in the restroom in front of the mirror saying, don't let this guy see you like this, don't cry, don't worry, we'll get through with this, we'll go to Europe, you will do better. Even when Oloture was giving up, she was one gingering Oloture, just hyping her up and giving her all the moral support she needed. That's like the best gift you can get when you're going through that kind of journey. So Beverly also really delivered her character, Peju. We had Tony, Alero, and Chugs in the first part of the 2020 movie, and we saw that in this series, in this part, they are butting heads. Alero is caught in between the webs of her sins, her crimes, and betrayal from her boss, who is Tony, because Tony is getting threatened by Antonio, who is this Italian man, over the boss that was missing, over the girls that are yet to arrive, over the girls that ran away and the one that was killed. And Tony is mounting all that pressure on Alero and is ready to throw Alero under the bus. But Chuks is doing everything he can to get back in the good books of Tony. Tony is not even ready for any nonsense. I feel like those three really did a good job, and it just shows that despite the fact that they are ripping people off so much and exploiting people and taking advantage of them and basically selling and smuggling people for money, there's still like this disunity between them, all because of money. And it just shows you what money can cause, quest for money, what greed can cause. Corruption as well can really cause, how it can cause this unity, and it can cause chaos between a group of people that are actually working towards the same goal. We also had Femi's character was played by Ifeanyi. When I saw his character, I expected him to be a bad guy, because we rarely meet good people on a journey like that. But when he started to talk to Oloture and say, oh, you don't look like the others, you don't look like you're desperate, because really Peju was desperate to go to Europe. Alongside Ben and Andrew, they wanted to go to Europe for their career, but he could feel this aura from Oloture that, it felt like she was caught up in between all that mess. She didn't really want to be on that journey. And, Oloture saying that there was really nobody to really listen to her, nobody back home, nobody heard that much. So she decided to, open up to Femi, who seemed like he really could see through her and her pain, but unknown to her, Femi just took advantage of her vulnerability and sold her off to another madam for prostitution. Like I said, these people rarely miss good people on the road. Everybody just wants to make money off of you because they can sense your desperation. They can sense that you have little to no options available. And, if I were to play that character really well, like, he was able to convince us viewers that he had our best interest at heart. Because, like I said, I didn't expect him to be a good person. But when he was having that conversation, he was like, oh, I know someone I can take you to, this, that. I mean, it looked fishy at some point, though, because I'm just like, you're in this business and a journalist and you're willing to take this journalist to that journalist to expose human trafficking and smugglers, and you're I mean, it may seem as though you're one of them. So yeah, it looks fishy at some point, but when he took her to that madam's house to be sold, I'm just like, oh my god, like Afa, like wow. I saw on Twitter where people were saying Oloture had the guts to go and trust another Femi. I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, I feel like he pulled that character really well. He was able to deceive us. He was also able to shock us with his action later on. So I really liked that he was able to do that. We also had Ben and Andrew, who Peju and Oloture met when they got to Niger and they journeyed together to Libya. I really liked how they gave us that character, how their character were written to be neither fully Nigerians nor fully Ghanaians, because these people are immigrants, and the reality of these people that when they travel, they meet other immigrants from other countries, they meet people from different countries. It is not only Nigerians that are desperate to get out of the country and seek greener pastures elsewhere. There are also people from other African countries that really, really want to get out of their own country and find better options elsewhere. So it just made sense that they came across people from other countries, which I really, really liked. I feel like Andrew played his character very well. He was very optimistic, very high hopes. He believed in his dreams, and he believed that him getting to Europe was going to, bring his dreams to life, which I was really able to see. And he didn't really need to say a lot. The way he carried himself, the way he acted, the way he was always there for Oloture, the way he gave Oloture so much hope, he was able to, translate those words to us with his actions. Also with Ben, played by Stan Nze, he did a fantastic job playing like that big bro that, like I said, you rarely meet good people on those trips. So it was like one of those very few people that you feel good people you get to meet. I think he did good, looking out for Oloture, looking out for Peju. He also reassuring them when they felt like all hope was lost. So I really liked those characters. So yeah, we also had Beauty, who was brought from village by her sister in the last movie, in the 2020 movie. And we saw that, after her sister got killed, she went back to the village to meet her mom, but found that her mother was dead. And then she decides to go back to Lagos, and then unfortunately for her, she gets into the hand of Chooks, who started using her for prostitution and started paying her little to no money at all. I feel like Beauty represented a lot of girls who are in villages, who feel like they can't really make it in their village. They feel like Lagos is the happening place. They would rather leave their village that feels safe, but they have little to no money. They have nothing to eat, no water to drink, no access to good education or good health care. They would rather go to Lagos and face the terror, face, the violence, face unforeseen circumstances. Because explain to me why you were brought to Lagos, you had to go through juju. They used juju on you. They killed your sister. They beheaded your sister in front of you. You went back home, found out that your mom had died, and then you still carry yourself and went back to that same Lagos. And you're like, oh, die and I die. It's better to die in Lagos than die in my village. And she actually represented a lot of girls who has lost all hope, and they decide that, they would rather go to where it's tough to make ends meet. One of the things I liked about this series, I really liked the makeup, how it looked started, how it looked gritty. There was even a particular picture or particular scene where Oloture had 3-hand mark on her chest. I don't know if that was accidental, I don't know if it was intentional, but whatever it was really good to see. You could tell that this person has gone through an accident, this person has gone through the wind, the desert, this person has been working for days, this person hasn't had proper rest, this person is tired, this person is worn out, this person has been on a proper chaotic journey, and it was really evident in how she looked, how she was looking. You could tell she was lost in thought. I really liked their makeup and what they were wearing. I liked it, even the way their hair looked. It was just very good, and I mean, not like very good, but like it was in line with the story and what was going on in the story. So I really liked that. I liked the attention to details. Like there was a part where they were driving across the desert and there was like a skull on the floor in the ground, and it just shows you that a lot of lives has been lost in that desert. Like they have access to no food, no water. People rarely drive past that place, and even when they do, not all of them are willing to help you to a safe place. So I really liked how that was carefully captured and the kind of story or what it actually depicted. I liked that the series showed different levels or different types of human trafficking and exploitations with regards to beauty. She would work her body off and the money gets paid to Chooks, and Chooks is giving her little to nothing. Like there was a scene where he gave her like 500 naira, like 500 naira. I'm just like, what? And I'm sure she wasn't paid that amount. You could also see like the desperation with young girls or young youths to make money with regards to beauty, even the desperation of people to get out of the country regardless of how they intend to do that. Like even with the fact that people were killed, someone was killed in front of these girls. They've heard stories. If you remember the time where Chooks was trying to recruit more girls for Antonio or for Tony, a lot of girls were willing to go, including Beauty. She's like, she wants to go. She wants to do it for her sister. It shows you that regardless of how much light is shared on human trafficking and the illnesses, a lot of people will still want to go. A lot of people still want to go. They want to go and see for themselves. Huge believers of experience is the best teacher. They don't want to learn from other people's experiences or other people's stories. They want to go and experience it themselves. And there's just this hope that they always go with, that theirs will be better, they will have safe landing, they will have soft landing. So I really like that we got to see that with different characters. Also, this series delved into like the difficult things that these immigrants tend to go through when they are journeying to Europe by road, what they go through in the Sahara Desert. Even how these people are being recruited. We saw how they were recruited, how transported. There was a part where they had to change their vehicles multiple times, like they left with a bus, and then at some point they kept them in cars, and at some point they kept them in bikes, and later on they moved them to another bus. So it just showed you like how they recruit people and how they transport people in order to avoid delays from law enforcement people, in order to leave the country without being noticed. I really like that. I mean, I get that this movie was written after the investigation of an actual journalist. So I like that they didn't leave out like all these important details, and even the part where they were journeying and then they get stopped by these Niger guys and they're asking for $1, $5, and the people that could not give them money, they get pulled out of the bus or they get raped or something happens to them. Like it just gives you like much insight into the terrible things that these people get to go through, and it's just more nerve-wracking that despite this all, a lot of people will want to do it again. That's if they survive. And it just shows you the desperation and the level of poverty and how people are desperate to get out of poverty, to see greener pasture and possibly bring their dreams to life. And I like that it will better educate the viewers on why they shouldn't go through this route in order to see greener pasture and go through the legal means and all that. But it's just sad that regardless of it, or those that will still want to try it out will try it out. We saw that with Beauty and the other lady. I like the fact that this series has exposed a lot of businesses that are birthed out of human trafficking, a lot of wealth, the terrible human trafficking business in Nigeria. I like how this movie has, shed more light on it. Two things I didn't like about this series. I didn't like the fact that we got just 3 parts with 30 minutes duration. Like, I didn't like that it was splitted into parts. They could have made it a movie and then the next movie, just where we had Oloture 1, Oloture 2, the journey, then maybe Oloture 3, the destination, like that. Like, I don't think the fact that they are trying to make it into a series, they actually have to split it into episodes, considering the fact that each episode will be like 30-something minutes long. I don't know if that makes sense, but for people that like to watch series where they watch one episode and they know that they are done with it, and when next they have time they can come to the next episode, it might be good for them. But for me, that I like to see series or movies on one go, or at one sitting, I just felt like there was really no need to split it into different episodes, considering the fact that one episode didn't start off differently from the other. It was like a continuation. If it was like chapters, it would have made sense, right? But I wish it was like in a movie and it was compressed into one. I also didn't like that the story felt unfinished. Left us with the same feeling the part one left us with, like, okay, this cannot be the end. What's going on? What exactly is going on? What's going to come out? What's going to become of Oloture? Like, he left us with questions like, what's going to become of Oloture? Is that the end? What about Beauty? Is she going to stay stuck with Chuks and his terrible ways, and him hitting her and extorting her of her money, and her continuously making ends meet with her body? Like, what is going to happen with this Lumi gang war between Tony Alero and Sir Philip and even Antonio back in Italy? Like, what's going to go on with that? All of those stories. Like, is someone else still going to die? What's their journey going to be like? I didn't like the fact that it left us with those questions, but at the same time, judging by the fact that we are still going to get another part, it just makes sense that they left us with this cliffhanger at the end of episode 3. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about in the comment section. Is this the first time you're learning about human trafficking and the illnesses? Let me know in the comment section. Do you think they did justice to the stories that they are telling? The actors did justice with their performances and their characters? Let's chat in the comment section. What did you like? What did you not like? Did the series meet your expectations? See my next video, but until then, make sure to remain happy because you're with yourself. Bye guys.